Good morning, everybody. Good Friday morning. Today is Friday, July 7th. It is 7/7/23. And today I'm talk about clogged pipes. I think we've talked about this before, and I sat down here this morning, it's like, Lord, what do you want to talk about this morning? And I told him, I said, I'm tired this morning and my focus wasn't there. So I speak supernatural energy and focus. And I just was sitting here and I kept hearing like clogged pipes. A couple of reasons. A friend of ours, someone we know, and associated with this ministry, had an issue with a clogged pipe in her kitchen sink. And they had to have the maintenance person come in and they had to have a plumber come in, and they found a hair clog about 25 feet down into the pipe. Now, this is an apartment building that she lives in. And so, I don't know if this was a pipe that where all the pipes come together, maybe somewhere down the underneath or what, but it was something that wasn't easily accessed or easily seen. But she knew there was, of course, a problem by the evidence of the water not going down properly. And then we had to go out back last night and unclog our septic tank pipe. And, so a couple of things. Are your pipes clean? Are your spiritual pipes clean? Now, we had an issue here a while back, not this year yet, but not recently, where the toilet kept plugging up and couldn't figure out why. And we'd go out and clean it. And what we discovered was that there were some things that had been put down the toilet that shouldn't have. And that clogged up those pipes. Well, last night when we worked on it, I know it's kind of a stinky situation, but the stuff that came out wasn't stuff that shouldn't have been in there. Let's just say there was an overload of paperwork, okay? And so what I've heard the Lord telling me as I sat here this morning is sometimes the things that we do are not abnormal in the spiritual realm. They're not against the Word of God necessarily. But sometimes we get so busy, we put so much on and in ourselves, even of the things of God, that we don't give things time to settle and flow. Our spiritual pipes get clogged, even with the good stuff, even with the right stuff. And so we need to be aware that as we're putting the things of God into us, that we have to allow a little bit of time for those things to flow through and to move through so that things don't, so our spiritual pipes don't get clogged. When our spiritual pipes are clogged, we're not in tune as well with the voice of God, with the Spirit of God. And it might be, Lord, I'm doing everything I know to do according to your word. I'm reading your word all the time, and I'm talking to you all the time, and I'm praying, and I'm declaring, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And sometimes we have to let our system, if you would, process properly what we're putting into it, so that I guess what I'm hearing right now is pace yourself. Even those that are in big ministry pace themselves. They're not running to and fro. Excuse me. I know that they study the word all the time. And I know that they talk to the Lord all the time, but they give themselves time to process, if you would, the stuff that they're bringing in. Um, I guess I'm not sure how to explain it, because I don't want it to sound like, you're getting too much God, because you're not. It's just sometimes we do it in such a way that we're not processing, we're not, I don't even want to say that word. We don't have time to even meditate on the word, because we're putting so much in. So as we put the things of God, as we bring them into us, then take the time to meditate on what you're hearing, what you're reading, what you're seeing in the things of God, what you're bringing in, so that that word, those things of God, have time to move in you properly, so that they can flow out of you properly. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Sorry. Okay. Stop. Okay. So we need to make sure that the things that we're bringing in of the Lord, His word, His presence, His power, the things that we're activating, ask God for opportunity to let this stuff flow out of you to others. Let the words on healing and prosperity and deliverance and peace, bring all of that in, but then allow it to flow out. Don't let your pipes get clogged up. I'm not saying to stop bringing the things of God in and, allowing them to come in, and I'm saying allow them to flow out too. It doesn't do us any good to bring the things of God into us if we're not going to allow it to flow out of us. Does that make sense? Keep the pipes flowing. And things get backed up, it gets a bit stinky, even in a kitchen sink, because, dishwater and stuff like that builds up behind the clog, and it can't pass through, and therefore it starts to get, you have smelled dishwater that has sat. So don't allow the things of God to just sit. Use what God is putting in you. Use what you're taking in of the Lord. Let it flow out of you through your hands and through your words. And you will be better off because of the natural flow of things. And others will be blessed because you're allowing the things that have come into you from the Lord to be flowing out to touch the lives of others for God's glory. I hope this makes some sort of sense to you. But the the word is, don't let your pipes get clogged up. Keep things flowing freely. Okay? It works better that way. All right. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope it has given you cause to think about what God is doing and how you're using those things that God has given. And we will be back here Monday morning at 7 a.m. for another Morning Nuggets. And join us tonight at 7 p.m. for another Friday night teaching. we're not starting that one tonight. We're going to finish on let me get my notebook here. I have to change my thing. There it is. Okay, we're going to work on patience and talk about patience tonight. I believe. I believe that's what we're doing. Okay. And you also got to know that sometimes when we ask for patience, what we really need is peace. So anyway, join us tonight for another teaching, a continued teaching on the things of God. And we'll have a good time. All right. So go out there and have a great day. Make sure your pipes are unclogged. Let the things of God flow freely through you. Okay. All right. So we'll see you tonight. And if we don't see you tonight, we'll see you Monday morning. Until then, have a great and wonderful day or days. Have a great weekend ahead of you in the name of Jesus.